Oh, wait. Hello there. Welcome to the video, guys. And thank you for watching, of course. Starting off a little bit different today. No shaders, and more of like a montage-esque thing. So before we get into build, enjoy this little build here. I know, 2 builds in 1. Woohoo! So this is definitely one of my more favorite builds as of recent, and I did go ahead and do a full interior. And if you guys do remember, this was my nether portal place. So we got some nice stuff here going on. Anyways, that's besides the point. Today we are going to be making a cathedral. Specifically the cathedral that's supposed to be sitting over here. Now, I do know the general location and the certain build that I want to use for it, but the problem is that I need to do a lot of material gathering, and I need to do a lot of actual planning, because this actually doesn't entirely make the cathedral fit, because I want it to go this way so that it's lined up perfectly with this road right here. And I didn't make my dock big enough for that. Oops. But here's what the finished product, whatever you want to call it, looks over here. I did go through and add a few more materials, like lighting and whatnot, because it's definitely a little dark over here, but I do enjoy this style, and I will probably be using this style throughout this whole entire section here. It's almost mimicking, that's not right there. You know what we're gonna do? We're just going to whim this and place in an andesite stair, because that is, you know, totally the design choice I was going for. You know, it's like a different. Yeah, okay, no, it's not, but it does the trick. That looks a lot better. But anyways, I have a lot of stuff I need to go sort out real quick, and let me get to material gathering, because I do not have nearly enough blocks for it. And I do sincerely apologize for that previous clip. I don't know why I was so quiet. I'm pretty sure I recorded that in the morning when people were still asleep, because I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, but that's besides the point. Anyways, starting off, I had to gather up a bunch of moss blocks. Of course, this isn't, you know, the full entire thing of me doing it, but rather just the materials I had to gather. And I needed a lot more deep slate for the roof, and I did need a lot more tough, but mainly I was surprised. I was actually really low on deep slate. I don't know why. I haven't really used it all that much in my builds, but I just didn't have the surplus I thought I had, so I ended up gathering up a lot here. And of course, I gotta, you know, ask real quick, if you guys could please like, subscribe, etc, etc, etc. This stuff does take a while. It might not seem like a lot of work, but it kind of is. But I enjoy doing it, so anything can help. And then on last but not least, my favorite part is gathering up tough, because it just goes so fast. Love it, absolutely. And we are on to the build now. But first, obviously the placement for the build is, you know, not here. But look at this, day 1500. Been 500 days since day 1000, and we've already completed a lot. Anyways, I just had to show that off real quick. So plan is cathedral's going right here, and then over here we're gonna have like a park garden-esque area. And of course for this time lapse, yes, shaders will be on. And hopefully I'm gonna be gathering up a good amount of sugarcane to the farm over here. And the interior is decorated, but I haven't done the interior yet. Oh, lightning. Anyways, enjoy the time lapse. Sorry for the little bit of an interruption here. As you guys can see, I'm kind of actually going through and decorating this area right here. And you might notice that the center tree is off by a few blocks. That was my bad. I misplaced it. I cannot speak for Jack right now. I'm so sorry about this. But the time-lapse video didn't really come out how I wanted to, so I'm not going to show me doing this fully, but enough details so you guys can get the idea. In those little circles right there, there's going to be some smaller trees. And really, I'm just going to be creating some stalls to go alongside with it here, so that's pretty much all I'm doing here with this. Other than that, I'll let you guys get back to the time-lapse. Yeah, enjoy. Alrighty, you guys already know what time it is. We have to do a little bit of a tour, so let's do this. So, coming out of this little cart here, this is one of the things I added off camera. I added in some few other things, you know, just little decorations that I wanted to come in and do. I also added this up to the roof here because it looks very dark with shaders on, and I needed some overall light up here because it's full blocks, it's not stairs, so mobs can spawn on here, but I needed to make sure they couldn't. That's why that's up there. And then coming into the interior over here, but yeah, cool little statue dude. Um, Nothing too grand, nothing too special. We just have some very basic interior. I do have this thing here though. It's like it's a spade. Because I mean, you know, it's like, you know, the spades, cathedral, whatnot. It's not fully finished in here, but who knows? Maybe I'll do something. And this is like a big spade right here, if you guys can tell. And then, you know, coming up here real quick, we don't really have too much. It's just a little bit of a balcony area that I don't really know what I want to do with yet. Oh, I forgot to put those on. There is this little detail I forgot. Okay. But, oh, it's raining. Let's go check out the other place. So there is a slight reason to why I made this over here. Now, it's pissing me off that this is off by one block. It's lined up with this right here, and this is the middle block, not this one. So that's that. But we just have some overall, like, you know, little different stalls over here. Just some different stuff, you know. Nothing too crazy. But the real thing is right down here. So I need to place a trapdoor here, but coming down into here. Okay, we have a nice little cool area. And then coming down into here. Bada boom, baby. Tree farm. Don't mind this open area up top there. But I made an automatic tree farm. So yeah, that's pretty nice. I'm definitely going to use this because I need a lot of wood. And it does work, so let me go down to my skelly spawner, which is down over here. I do, in fact, love this build here. Definitely one of my most, ow, ow. Definitely one of my most, whatchamacallit. I don't know, I really enjoyed building that whole thing there. Very hard, took a long time, but overall, definitely worth it. Anyways, let me get to doing a little bit of this stuff in here, and, I guess I'll catch you guys back with some other plans for the episode. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Boy oh boy, did I actually know what I wanted to do. I know, I went back to my creative test world after saying that I wanted to freehand some builds, but I just had some ideas that, like, were in the back of my head, and I just needed to place them out on the map, see how it looked. And the buildings actually turned out to look pretty darn good, so I ended up keeping with it, staying with it, and building them here. This is probably one of my favorite house time lapse too. I don't really have many, houses that I'm like really proud of in this dock city, whatever you want to call it, but this is definitely one of the houses where I'm like, you know what? I like the layout. I like how it is. I would honestly build this in the survival world as like a mid-tier base, to be honest. But anyways, I'm gonna let you guys get back to the time lapse. This is the last time lapse for the video. I've spent way too long on this, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty, well that was a big lag spike right there. Sorry about that. But we got all the houses done here, so let's just go take a little bit of a look through them. Oh, I forgot the buttons. And I forgot the sign. Okay, I had to put a few more details in. But just coming through here, we have St. Jude's Opus of Books. It's a Morrowind reference, and technically Skyrim too, if when you go to the Soul Cairn. But regardless, I just wanted to, name this place something. So this is like a little bit of like a bookshop and whatnot. And then coming up into here, we have a nice little, just like, I need to really fix this over here somehow. A little like, why is my roof not in place there? I forgot that too. Oh my gosh. Place in some, I believe I had spruce planks here. Just gonna place some of these bad boys in. Okay, that is a lot better now. So we just kind of have like, like a little relaxing area here with a furnace coming up and whatnot. Thought that was pretty cool. And then if we go over here, We have... Did I forget about the area up there? Alright, up here... Ooh, lag spike again, jeez. Up here we have a little bit of a, like study area. And then coming down into over here, we have main bedroom number 1 with another little furnace in it. Got a little hanging propagule, nothing too crazy. And I really wanted to keep with the theme of books, because like, it's a book place. So we have like a bunch of books in here, a little storage area over here with an extra bedroom. I'm actually gonna move the bed like that. I like that better. And then, oop, coming out into over here, it's very basically decorated. This is like, the actual home of the place. And then over here is another house. I do have a name for the house, I just don't have the sign up yet. But this house is pretty nice. Also, you may notice that the levels have been changing a lot. It's because I've been naming stuff. Like, well, this is not a good... There we go, a banner box, a toolbox. And I actually want to show you guys this off real quick. I decided to go ahead and put in every single banner design that I have. Anyways, we have this house over here. This is just like a little bit of a family house. I decided to go with like a little bit different of a design with this right here. I didn't want to use regular windows. I used scaffolding, and I went with the yellow roof for this one. I don't know why I went with brick there, but that's what I did. And I like this house here. So coming in, just have a little bit of a, you know, uh, dining area over here with the kitchen. We have an extra little room with the study. And then coming up into over here, we have the big bedroom with a little study area, storage, books, cool stuff. And that's about it right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you could, like, subscribe, all that cool jazz. Hopefully the quality of this video is a little bit better than the other ones, previous ones, etc, etc. If you have any ideas for future videos, let me know in the comments down below. And if not, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.